good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending the location where you're joining us on this beautiful day. Today is another wonderful day to continue our program on moral and wisdom. We are here to continue that series as we promise to do every Sunday, the series of moral and wisdom. Today is another day. We will handle a topic we titled, Who is your enemy? This is the topic we are going to look into on this wonderful day. I want to welcome every one of you who is already here with us and the others who will join us as we have started. I want to say a very big welcome to all our followers and all our viewers all over the globe who make it every Sunday to be with us, especially live on this program. I want to send my big thank you to every one of you. Today, our topic said, Who is your enemy? This is the topic we are going to look into on this wonderful day. I will go ahead and pray and commence the program without wasting much of our time on today's program. Father, we want to say a very big thank you to you for giving us another opportunity in the land of living, for making us to see this wonderful day on this month of February. We bring all the glory, all the honor, all the thanksgiving and adoration unto your holy name for the grace you have given to us to be in the land of living. We pray to you this moment to send forth your spirit, the great teacher, the comforter, the director in our present, that everything I'm going to speak will be a word that will build the life of people. It will not be a word that will destroy, but it will be a word that will build the life, that our life will transform to a greater person. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen. Today's program said, Who is your enemy? I want to let you know today's program is a very critical topic. It's a topic that may not go well with many of us. But I want to tell you, I'm always here to tell you nothing but what? The truth. That is the only thing I can tell you. There is no other thing I can tell you less than something that is truth. Anything that is not truth will not come out of my mouth. I will tell you nothing but what? Truth. That is why I'm here. If not, I will not be here. Today's topic said, Who is your enemy? And I will go ahead and look into what is the meaning of enemy. When you say enemy, what are you talking about? What is the full meaning of enemy? When you say enemy, what are you talking about? Who is your enemy? Who is the person you can call enemy? Who is that person that can turn to be your enemy? Who is the person who can eventually one day turn to be your enemy? Who is that person? Let's look into what is enemy. The simple meaning of enemy. The simple meaning of enemy is a person who hates or opposes another person and tries to harm them or stop them from doing something. Are you seeing it? Your enemy is someone who can rise to oppose you. Your enemy is someone who can rise to harm you. Your enemy is someone who can rise to stop you from doing whatever you want to do. That's why people always say that Satan is their enemy. Because people think that Satan is the one that blocking them to be whom they are aspiring to be. That's why people always see Satan as their enemy. Because they feel like Satan is the reason why they have not achieved whatever they are looking to achieve. They always see Satan as the person who is blocking their future. They always see Satan as the person who is hindering them to prosper. They always see Satan as the person who is stopping them to get the best job they are wishing themselves. But today, I want to bring to you the enemy on the earth. Who is that your enemy on the earth? Who is that person that you can call your enemy? Who is that person you can think is your enemy? And who is that person who can turn to your enemy one day? Who is that person? We want to look into and see who is that person. Before I continue, the real enemy is none other than your what? Your anger. Let me tell you something. The real enemy is none other than what? Your anger is one of the enemy. Anger is one of the what? The enemy. Number two of it is what? Jealous. These two things are the network that brings enmity. Anger and the jealous are the network that powers what? Enmity. Before enmity will come in between two people, these two things must manifest. These two things must come in. Anger must come in. Jealous must come in before somebody will turn against you. Before somebody will rise against you. Before somebody will think of harming you. These two things must come into the mind of that person. Before somebody will begin to try to stop your vision, these two things must do what? Must come into the life of that individual. Before any individual will begin to think evil against you, these two things must occur in their life. Anger must come. Jealousy must come. Without these two things, it will be very hard for somebody to turn to be your enemy. That's why I said to you, I will show you who is your enemy today. I will show you somebody who can eventually turn to be your enemy. You treat someone as an enemy only when you have kind of aggression towards him or her. Before you will begin to treat someone as enemy, I want to tell you something. There must be certain aggressions towards that person from you. Before you begin to react to somebody as an enemy, there must be what? Aggressions towards what? Towards that person. Anger is one of the things that lead you to become someone's enemy. Anger is one of the things that lead you to become someone's what? Enemy. Without anger, it will be very difficult for you to turn to be someone's enemy. Anger is one of the things that lead you to turn to become enemy to someone. The number two, jealous, is one of the things that lead you to turn to become someone's enemy. Anger and jealous. They are the network that powers you to turn to become anybody's what? Enemy. Without them, these two things, it is very, very difficult for you to become anybody's enemy. It will be very, very difficult for somebody to become your what? Your enemy. Without these two things I have just told you right now. Without these two things, it will be very, very impossible for anybody to wake up and say, this person is my enemy. I want to welcome every one of you. I can see every one of you who is already here with us. I want to welcome you. I know today the elections are still going on in some area. And I want every one of you to remain calm. Remain calm anywhere you are. And let us wait for the result. Remain calm so that you can save your life for tomorrow. Don't lose your life for anybody. Take note of that. Your life is very, very important. That is my advice to all the youth. Don't lose your life because of any politician. Politicians are like a prostitute. Take note of my word. Don't lose your life because of any politician. There is no politicians that want your blood. Don't go out there to die for anybody. It took your parents a lot of time to train you. It took your parents 18 years to raise you as a child. It took them good 18 years to raise you as a child. It is not easy to raise a child for 18 years. So I want to let you know, don't lose your life for any politician. Before you put your life at risk for any politician, let that politician, first of all, put their own children before you. You follow their children. Nigerians, I want to advise you. Take note of my word. I want you to send this word to every youth of Nigeria. Before you go out there to fight for any politician, make sure that politician child is before you. Before you do that. If the child of that politician is not among you, don't go into your house. Don't lose your life for a politician. Politicians are prostitutes. They don't care about you. They care about you right now. After this election, every one of you will not care about you. If they care about you before, you will not be suffering. If there is any politician who is honest in that place you are, you will not be suffering. Even if there is one, God said, if I will find one, I will save them. If there is a single politician where you live today that is honest, Nigerians will not be suffering. I'm telling you my word. Take my word. Don't lose your life for the politicians because their children is somewhere that has been well developed. That is where their children are. Don't lose your life for any politician. Save your life for your family. Take my advice. If you don't take my advice, you pay with yourself. That is what I will tell you. Let's continue our topic. Our topic said, who is your enemy? I was telling you that jealous and the anger is the network to the world that engineer is the networks that powers enmity between two people. Without anger and jealous, I want to tell you, it will be very hard to see somebody to say, this person is my enemy. It will be very hard to see somebody that will say, oh, I am not happy with this person. But these two things are what that triggers enmity between two people. So this moment, who can show you their anger? Who is the person that will show you their anger? Who is that person? Who is that person that can be jealous of you. Who is that person? Your enemy are people who have done one thing or the other with you. Your enemy are the people who are what? Around you. Your enemy are the people who have done one thing or the other with you. I want you to know, remember our topic said, who is your enemy? We don't know the people, but today I want to show you the people who can eventually be your enemy. I want to show you the people who can eventually turn to become your enemy today or tomorrow. Who is those people? I want to show you those people. Your enemy are those people you have done something with. Your enemy are those people who is living with you. Your enemy are those people who is around you. Those are your enemies. Strangers are not your enemies. Take note of my word. Strangers are not your word, your enemy. Strangers are not your enemy. Your enemy are those people that is very close to you. Before somebody will turn to be your enemy, that person might have had contact with you. Anybody who does not have contact with you will never turn to be your enemy. No stranger will be your enemy. Your enemy must be within. Your enemy must be that person who has done one thing or the other with you. That is the person who can turn to be your enemy. Who is your enemy? Number one, moderator. Who is your enemy? Number one, friends. Who can turn to be your enemy? Number one person that can turn to be your enemy is who? Friends. Your friends are number one people who can turn to be your enemy. As I'm speaking to you, I want you to begin to think back. If you have been able to calculate, if you can be able to recollect, if you can be able to remember, the people you can think they are your enemy today, who are those people? I want you to begin to take note of my teaching this morning. I told you my today's teaching may not go well with a lot of people, but I want to open your eyes and I want to make you to know sometimes when you are casting and binding, for you to know the people you are casting and binding. When you are praying against your enemies, I want you to see the people you are praying against so that you can take note, so that sometimes you can stop praying Holy Ghost fire against your enemies. Because the people you are praying this Holy Ghost fire against, these people are your own. Most of them are abroad. Most of them are people that is very close to you. When you are casting and binding your enemies, I want you to know you are not binding the strangers. You are not binding the strangers. You are binding and casting the people who is living with you. You are binding and casting the people whom you have done one thing or the other with. You are binding and casting the people whom you have choose as your dear person once in life. They are the people you are casting and binding. Number one people that will turn to be your enemy, number one is your what? Your friends. Your friends will turn to be your enemy. Your friends may turn to be your enemies. I will tell you the reasons why these people can turn to be your enemy. After I have named who is your enemy, I will tell you what brings the anger. I told you the reasons why people can turn to be your enemy is anger and jealous. But after I have shown you who can turn to be your enemy, I will now show you what brings anger. What brings it? Before somebody can be angry with you, there is something that will trigger it. There must be a reason before somebody will be angry with you. There must be a reason before somebody will be jealous of you. There must be a reason. But after this, I will tell you what brings the anger and the jealous. Number 2, who can turn to be your enemy? Family members. Number 2, family members. Stroke kindred. Family member comprising your kindred, your town people. These are the people that can turn to be your enemy. Strangers can never be your enemy. Take note of my word. Number 3, church members. Church members, / your pastors, / your reverends. These are the people that can turn to be your enemy. Strangers cannot be your enemy. Take note of my word. Strangers cannot be your enemy. Nowhere. That is number 3. Church members. Number 4. Co-workers. Number 4. People that can turn to be your enemy. Co-workers. That is number 4. Take note of it. Number 4. People that can turn to be your enemy. Co-workers. Number 5. Your neighbors. Your neighbors are easily to turn to be your enemies. Your neighbors are easily to turn to be your enemies. Number 5, your neighbors. They are easily to turn to be your what? Your enemy. Number 6, someone you have helped. Underline this one. This one is very, very important. Number 6, someone you have helped can turn to be your enemy. When you help people that have the spirit of prostitute, let me tell you something. Anytime you help somebody that have the spirit of prostitution, that person must turn to your enemy. Take note of my word. Underline my words. When I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you mostly something you cannot hear anywhere on this earth. The words that comes out of my mouth is something you may not find anywhere because it's not my own words. I said, number 6, someone you have helped is one of the people that can turn to be your enemy. Especially, underline it, especially when that person you help have the spirit of prostitution. When you talk of prostitution, prostitution is not only people who go out there to sell their body. There is a lot of human beings that carry the spirit of prostitution. Prostitution are those people that is not steady. Prostitution are those people that comes for only what you have in your hands. These are the people you can call prostitution. Prostitution are those people who go for what they will eat. Take note of it, underline it. It's not only people who sell their body. No. They are number 6. Number 7, club members. You are club members. That club you went and joined. That club you think that is, as soon as when you join it, everything will be well with you. They may turn to be your enemy. Those your club members, they can turn to be your enemy. Number 7, club members. Number 8, wife. Your wife can turn to be your enemy. Take note of my words. Your wife can turn to be your enemy. Especially, hey, when you marry a woman that is material minded, I want you to take note. It will be very, very easy for her to turn against you as a husband. When you marry a woman that is conscious of this earth, that is conscious of material things, that is eager for material things, that woman will eventually turn to be your enemy one day. If she have not turned to be your enemy today, I want you to know that one day she will turn to be your enemy. Take note of my words. Your wife can turn to be your worst enemy on this earth. Even look to kill you. Who can turn to be your enemy? Number 8, your wife. Number 9, your husband. Woman, your husband can turn to be your enemy. Especially when you marry my dad, mommy's boy. When you marry those ones who doesn't want to take responsibility. Whenever you see a man that is looking for a woman that has a job, before she will marry her, run away from such men. Any man that is telling you he will not marry a woman without a job, that man, run away from such a man. As a girl, that man doesn't want to take responsibility. And if you marry her, you are in trouble. If you marry any man that is looking for class-working woman, you are in trouble. That means I want you to know, she marries your career. He marries your career. It's not you he wants to marry. That man is mommy's boy. Those one doesn't like to take responsibility. They doesn't like to do anything. They want the woman to be the man. Don't marry a man that wants you to be the man in the house. Don't marry a man that wants you to control the house. As a woman, you will be in trouble. If you marry a man that wants you to control his house as a man, I want you to know it is easy for you to lose him to any woman out there. Because that man will be a puppy in the hands of any woman that come across of him. Do you know how many temptation men pass every day? It took only the one that has the lion heart to defeat it. When you marry a man that doesn't have authority, you will lose that man. As a woman, make sure you marry a man that has authority. If you marry a man without authority, you are in trouble. If you marry a man and he doesn't have authority, as a woman, I want you to make him to have authority. Let it be your gospel to him every day. When you marry a man who cannot tell you to sit down, and you sit down, I want you to begin to change the mentality of that man before you will lose that man in the hands of another woman outside. Because if you control your husband in the house, I want to assure you, that girl outside will control her. That girl will tell her how much money she will be dropping in the house. Take note of my word. Don't rejoice when you are controlling your husband, because you are digging your own failure. If you can control your husband, another woman will control her. Control him, sorry. Take note of it. Your husband can turn to be your enemy. Your husband can turn to be your what? Your enemy. These are the people that can turn to be your enemy. Let's go. What brings anger and jealous? What brings it? What brings anger and jealous? Before these people will turn to be your enemy, there is something that brings it. What brings it? That is what we want to look into. Moderator, take note of it. What brings Anger and what? Jealous. What brings it? Before your wife will turn to be your enemy, before your husband will turn to be your enemy, before your family members will turn to be your enemy, before your church members will turn to be your enemy, before your neighbors will turn to be your enemy, there is something that brings that anger and what? Jealousy. What brings it? Number one, when you fail to meet their demands. Whenever you fail to meet their demands, that is number one thing that causes the anger and the what? Jealous. Whenever you fail to meet the demand of your demanding wife, whenever you fail to meet the demand of your demanding husband, whenever you fail to meet the demand of your demanding family members, you are in trouble. The anger will begin to rise. The jealous will begin to rise. When you fail to meet the mind of that person you have been helping, you help the person before, there comes this time you say you cannot, you don't have. Because you fail to meet that person's demand, you will automatically turn to be their enemy. That is why I told you they have the spirit of prostitute. When you take a prostitute to a club this night, when she go there with you, you will be the man of the day because you have that money to spend that day. Tomorrow, when you come to the same club, you see that prostitute and you don't have money to buy her the stuff she needs, she will bullshit you. She will do like she doesn't know you. If you dare try to near her, she will put you and say, get away, I don't know you. These are the life of these people. That is why they can turn to be your enemy. Because you cannot be able to meet their word, their demand right now. That is one thing that will turn them to be your enemy automatically. That is one thing that will make them to rise. Their jealousy, to raise it where they hide it. They will pull that jealousy out. They will begin to exhibit it. The same mouth they used to praise you, they will use that the same mouth to curse you. The same mouth they have been using to tell you, you are this, you are that, you are the greatest person. The same mouth they will tell you, you are a fool. I want you to listen to me. I'm telling you the gospel truth. I'm telling you the reality of life. The same mouth they have used to bless you, the same mouth they will use it to curse you. The same mouth they have been using to telling you, you are a great man, a great woman. The same mouth they will tell you that you are a fool for nothing. The same mouth they will tell you, you have not achieved anything on the earth. These are the world of people. Because you fail to meet their word, their demand, automatically you will turn to be their enemy. When you cannot meet up what they need from you, when you cannot meet up what they're asking from you, you will automatically become enemy to them. You automatically becomes nobody to them. That people that praise you, that people that curse you, all kinds of names, that name will cease. That prostitute that call you baby will stop calling you baby whenever you cannot provide money. That your gay friends that call you baby will stop calling you baby when you cannot give them what they need. The same mouth they call you baby, the same mouth they will call you poor man because you can't lend them what they need. That is what brings that anger and jealous. When you cannot meet up with their word, with their demand. That is number one. Number two, when the people's expectation did not come true. Let me tell you something. Do you know a lot of people has a lot of expectation towards you? Do you know that some people will sit in their house and expecting the day they will wake up, you will tell them that you want to build a house for them? Do you know there is some people that will sit in their house expecting that one day you will come and tell them, this is the car I buy for you. And whenever that expectation did not come true, they will turn against you. Do you know there's many people that is following you because of their expectation? Do you know there is many people that is praising you because of their what? Their expectation. Do you know there is a lot of people that is following you today because of what they are expecting from you? Do you know why that girl is still calling your phone? Young man, listen to me. Do you know why that girl is still calling you baby? Do you know why that your girlfriend is still watching your clothes in the house? Do you know why that your girlfriend is still coming to cook food for you in the house? Do you know why? Because of her expectation. What is her expectation? She's waiting for you to tell her, I will marry you. That is why that girl is still nice to you, because she has expectation of marriage from you. That girl is still good to you because of what? Because of expectation of marriage. That is why she's still nice to you. Any day you fail her, any day that expectation did not come through, she will tell you that she's a Jezebel. Listen to me. I'm talking. Any day you fail her, that her expectation, any day that expectation did not come through, she will tell you the stuff she made from. She will tell you whom she is. She will tell you her real character. She will tell you that it's her mother that born her. She will tell you the kind of family she was born into. She will tell you the kind of mother that raised her. She will tell you the kind of town she came from. Expectation. Whenever the expectation did not come through, you will turn to be their enemies. They have a deep expectation that you cannot be able to fill in. Do you know these guys, their expectation you cannot be able to fill into it? There's people that has expectation that you cannot be able to cover it. And when you cannot cover it, you will turn to be their enemies. Expectation. These are the one of the things that turn these people to be your enemy. These are what that turn their church members to be your enemy. Expectation is what that turns your friends to become your enemy. Expectation is what that turns your family members to become your enemy. Expectation is what that turns your neighbors to be your enemy. Take note of my words. Expectation is what that turned your wife today to turn to be your enemy. What she was expecting before she married you, when she came in, is not the same thing she's seeing today. Maybe she was seeing you as somebody that has so much money. But when the woman came in, what she saw on the ground is not what she was seeing from outside. And that is where the problem comes. Expectation is the foundation of enmity. Expectation is the foundation, is the pillar of enmity. Expectation. Expectation is what that turned that man that told you he loved you to become your enemy. That man might have been expecting If he marries you, your father, who is rich, will set him up with certain millions of money. Now, your father could not do it. Problem will come. Maybe that man was expecting, if I marry this girl, that his brother, that her uncle, who is rich, will do what? Will help me. Now it's not coming forth. Trouble will come. Expectation is what that will turn your husband to be your enemy. Because his expectation did not come true. What is your expectation? Why are you having so much expectation on people? You don't know their position. Why are you expecting so high on someone you don't know what they are passing through? Why are you expecting much from people you don't know what they are facing in their life? When Christmas is coming, people will carry a lot of expectation on people. And as soon as you cannot be able to do those things, you will become their enemy. The anger will rise. The jealousy will rise. Expectation. These are the things that turn people to become your what? Your enemy. That is number 2. Number 3, promise and fail. These are the things that will turn people to become your enemy. When you make a promise to people and you cannot keep it. When you promise a man, I will marry you, I have accepted to marry you. If he cannot keep that promise, there will be a trouble. If he promised a girl, I will marry you, at the end of the day, one day you wake up and say, I cannot do this again. You are in trouble. You are causing trouble. You are causing trouble. You are causing enmity. The jealousy and the anger will rise as soon as you fail to keep that promise you made. Promise and fail. Whatever you promise and you did not keep it, I want to tell you, you are causing trouble. You are making people to turn to be your enemy. When you make promise from them, you cannot keep those promises. Before you make promise, take note. Before you say, I will marry you, make sure you will do it, in good or bad. That's why I have teach you before. A topic I said, don't make a promise. Don't tell any woman you will marry her. Don't say that until you are sure. If you are not sure, don't open your mouth and say it. Because it's a dangerous statement that kills a lot of people today. That statement has sent many people to grave. I will marry you. Has killed many youth. And they still killing people today. But I wish you guys can take my advice. Don't say you will marry until you are ready. Until you settle with your family members before you open your mouth and tell a woman I will marry you. Go and settle with your mother, with your father. Before you will come and tell the girl I will marry you. Make sure you have resolved with your family. Don't come tomorrow and tell the girl, my mother said I will not marry from your town. You are a stupid boy without a sense. When you tell a girl, I will not marry you again because my mother said or my father said, you are a stupid person. It shows that your sense is not functioning. How did you go and tell somebody you will marry the person when you have not told your father and your mother that born you? The woman you want to marry or the man you want to marry before you go into the agreement. Before you go into that agreement, make sure you have settled with your house. Unless you want to cause to have havoc in your life that may kill you, that may take you off from this side of the earth. It has taken a lot of people off from here. That nobody can trace it. I will marry has killed many. That people cannot be able to know. Their family cannot be able to know. They may even accusing people that doesn't know anything about it. They don't know it's that young girl somewhere. They don't know it's that young boy somewhere that did that evil. Stay away from promise and fail to anybody. Stay away from it. Number 4, lack of money. Lack of money is one of the major things that will turn people to become your what? Your enemy. Even in your town where you come from. If you are that kind of people that always give your villagers, if you are that kind of people that always give people, I want to let you know that as soon as you cannot afford it, as soon as you cannot give them, it's easy for them to turn against you. It's easy for them to do what? To turn against you. Lack of money is one of the fastest things that cause enemy. That turn people to become your enemy. Lack of money. The people you give yesterday, when you cannot give them today, the one you give them yesterday, they will never remember it. They only care for now. If you cannot give them today, you are automatically their enemy. Anybody that give them today, that person is their friend today. Anybody who can give them tomorrow, that person is their enemy tomorrow. Lack of money is one of the things that will turn people to be your what? Your enemy. Even your wife. When you cannot afford giving her all those things she needs. Most wives today, those material wives, it's very easy for them to turn to be your enemy. That is when this disrespect will come in. They will begin to call you by your name. When your wife, who used to call you baby, begin to call you by your name, there is a lead right. There is a danger. Your wife, who used to serve you food on the table, when she stopped giving you food on the table, telling you your food is over there, there is a danger. There is danger. There is a danger. Money, lack of money can cause it. There is a danger. That's why don't entertain any woman with money. Young men, don't go and marry any woman with money. You will die of heart attack. Which I can give you people my sense sometimes. I wish. Don't entertain any woman with money. You will die of heart attack. Because money can never remain with you forever. Show me a big man. I will tell you the year that big man was in trouble. Show me a big man you know. I will tell you that big man. Let's go and interview him. That big man will tell you the year he faced a trouble. You don't know. Poor man does not know the mystery of rich. Poor man think that rich remains with the rich people every day of their life. The poor man think that the rich people live with money every blessed day of their life. They don't know that sometimes those rich people, they may stay without food in their own house, and you don't know. The poor think that the rich stay with the rich every day of their life. They don't know that sometimes the rich cries also. They don't know that sometimes the rich lack also. They don't know. That's why I tell you, don't try to entertain any woman with money. Because if a woman marries you because of money, you are in trouble. You will be in trouble. Because every rich man, one time or two times or three times of his life, he faced challenges that concerns money. Go and check every rich man. They will tell you the story. Check it. They will tell you the story. When you will come to their house, things is not working right because money is not there. They are managing themselves. The wife is managing. That is when you will know the kind of woman you marry. That is when you will know whether you marry a material woman or you marry a real woman. That is why don't go and entertain your girlfriend with money for her to marry you. Because if you do, you will suffer later. Lack of money turns people to become your what? Your enemy. Finally, number 5, when hope delay. When the hope of the people delay. Sometimes they have a lot of hope. They are hoping this or that. Whenever there is a delay on those hope they have towards you, it makes them to activate their anger. It makes them to activate their jealousy. Sometimes they are thinking by this time, you might have done this or that for them. Sometimes they are hoping by this time, you might have set them up in one thing or the other. And when those things is not coming forth, when those things is delaying, this can turn them to activate their angers and their jealousy towards you. Delay. When hope delay. When hope delay. They have a hope that by this time, you will be doing this or that for them. But that thing is not coming through. That thing is not working out yet. It can make them to activate their angers and their jealousy towards you. That is when that enmity will come in. Delay. When there is delay, when their hope is being delayed, when what that thing they're hoping about you, that thing they're hoping you will do for them, whenever it is delayed, I want to let you know, these people will activate their anger and their jealousy towards your life. They will be hitting on you by any means. These are the things that turn people to become your enemy. This is my message to you. I want you to remain blessed. I will see you here the same time next week. Like I have told you, this week, remain peaceful anywhere you are. Anywhere you are, remain peaceful. Anywhere you are this week. Don't go and sacrifice yourself for any politician. That is my advice to you. Don't die for any politician. They don't want your blood. Your blood is important. If you live tomorrow, you can lose. But if you die, you are gone. Be wise. No condition is permanent. That your family condition. Don't think it's permanent. From that your family, a king may rise. From that your family, a king may rise from that your family. So that reason, don't die for anybody. Don't die for any politician. Let them bring their children for protest. Don't protest for anybody. I'm warning you people now. Send this message to all your friends. Send this message to all your friends. Florence, we welcome you. You are watching from Nairobi. We welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you very well. Thank you for being with us live. Florence, thank you for being with us live. Thank you on behalf of Udo Jesus Foundation. We are welcoming you. Florence from Nairobi, Kenya. She's watching all the way from Kenya. Florence, we want to say a very big shout to you. You are highly welcome. This is Udo Jesus Foundation, where we teach moral and wisdom. That is the only thing we do here. That is the only thing we teach. Moral and wisdom. Things that will make you to live a good life. Things that will make you to know the truth. And nothing but truth. That is the only thing we teach here. That is what we teach here. And I welcome you. Stay blessed as we look to see the new president of Nigeria. But I don't want anybody to die for anybody. That is the only thing I know. Don't die for any politician. They are the same. If they are not the same, you will not be suffering. Don't die for anybody. Anyone does not want your blood to spill on the ground for any of them. If they are not the same, you will not be suffering. Take note of my words. If there is a difference among any of them, you will not be suffering. That one could have changed your suffer. So that reason, don't die for any of them. Don't die for anyone. Just sit and watch them. Let them do their will. But for you to go out there to protest, stay in your house. Whatever you have, eat it there. Let them do their will and continue to rule. Don't die for any of them. That is my advice to you. I will see you here at the same time next week. Remain blessed and God bless you. I pray that this week, my prayer for you this week is one prayer. That God will send divine agency for you. And I want you to know, you know the work of divine agency. Divine agency is only power that can perform miracle in your life. For that reason, I am praying for miracle in your life. And I'm praying for miracle in my own life. I pray to you, by this time next Sunday, you will have something to testify that God has done for you. You need a miracle of your own time. When we talk of miracle, I always say, I need a miracle of my own time. Not the miracle of the time of Joseph. Not the miracle of the time of Abraham. No, I need a miracle my child will testify. I need my own miracle in my own time. Not the miracle of Abraham. No, I need a miracle of Udo Jesus. The one that will happen in my time. The one I will witness. The one my children will witness. That is why I pray for you that God will send the power of divine agency that perform miracle. Nobody can perform miracle. There is nobody can do miracle except this power. Divine agency. Let God send it for you this week. Let God send it to us in everything that concerns us. That this week, the power of divine agency will take place in our life and in our family. In the name of the Father and the Son and of the Holy Ghost. Amen. Remain blessed.